Hi, I'm Brandy. This is Hound Dog Hollow, and today we're going to be doing my first video in a series called Practical Magic. This is one of my very favorite spells that I use. Sorry, I'm in my front yard, so there's cars and dogs. Anyways, that I use for many different occasions. Espits, sabbats, just all sorts of things. It's a planting spell, and the ingredients can be as simple or as complex as you want. So basically my list of supplies are a pot or something to plant it in. It might be a terrarium or something else if you have like an air plant or a succulent. Soil or an appropriate medium for the plant, and a seed or a plant, something to write on, something to write with, an intention. I like to have my intention already ready to go before I start this. I like to have already dreamed and thought and planned about what my intention is going to be. Optional are other items that align with your intention, and we'll go more into that. So basically I have here a pot. You also can just plant it in your soil. I like this pot. In order to strengthen your intention, you can have a pot with a specific color. You can have a pot that you have put a sigil into. You can have a pot that you bless with a ritual oil. Oh, Lord have mercy, these dogs. You can have a pentacle pot, or a pot that you've painted a symbol on, a sigil on, that's a specific color, or whatever thing that you want for the pot. So the next thing you need is soil. I have soil over here in the corner. I usually have organic seed starter, but the only thing I can find right now is Miracle Grow. Don't sue me. So a seed or a plant, this is like, the possibilities here are infinite. I currently have plants that need planting, so you can find yourself, if you have an herb book. This is my herb book. It's actually my old one. You can look up basically any plant that you want and make a spell around that. Let's say you were gifted a plant, or let's say there's a plant that you specifically want to grow, or let's say you have a specific intention like prosperity, protection, wealth, love, whatever. So you would look up, you can look up by your intention on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on Pinterest, or in one of your other correspondence books. I'm looking for, like, let's say strawberry would be for love and luck, and the leaves are carried for luck, so it might be lucky in that way. You might use it for luck magic. I have also here, so I'm going to plant this a strawberry patch. I have also here sage. And of course, we all know there's lots of magical uses for sage. So you can use it in money, healing, wisdom, guard yourself against contracting the evil eye. So, immortality, longevity, wisdom, protection, and wishes would be sage. I have here, he doesn't have tarragon in here, but I'm sure he has chamomile. Let's look at chamomile. That's this one. It's a little chamomile. Everybody's a little bit scraggly because they've been out all day, but so calming, sleep, attracts money. So I might use it in a money spell. We have the strawberries here. The lemongrass, let's see. Lemongrass repels snakes, lust. It's for lust and psychic powers. Lemongrass planted around the home and in the garden will repel snakes. It's used in lust potions, and it can be used in an infusion to develop psychic powers. And we have, he has lemon balm under balm instead of lemon, which is a little bit weird, but totally fine. And that is for love, success, and healing. We have coriander, or cilantro. I love to plant cilantro. I eat a lot of cilantro. So, but I believe he's got it under coriander, because cilantro, when you go to seed, the seeds are called coriander. So love, health, and healing. Do we have parsley? That noise is a peacock, friends. Okay, so parsley is for lust, protection, and purification. The point that I'm trying to make is you could plant an acorn, you could plant a sunflower, you can plant whatever you wanted, and anything that you plant you can turn into a magical spell. That's why it's practical magic, because if you're going to be planting in your garden already, why not seed an intention and weave a spell? And as you care and do your devotional work to this plant to keep it alive and to nourish yourself or your family, or for medicinal purposes, or even for just nourishment of the soul with beauty, you are also tending to your magical working, keeping it stoked, and focusing your intention on what you're trying to manifest. So that's really cool. So we have a pot, we have soil, we have a seed or a plant. You can do this either way. You can do this with plants that need to be transplanted. You could do it with established plants that you just want to change into a different pot. You can do this with seeds that you're starting. It's a very versatile spell. So I have something to write on here. This is not what I would actually write on, but I just want to show you a concept. So let's say I'm doing a working for protection on my property. I would say I am safe. Nothing can harm us. You want it to be, I mean, you can make it as fancy, as poetic, as simple, whatever you want. It just has to be something that's meaningful to you, and it has to be in present tense. You don't want it to say, I want this, or I will be this. You have to see it in your mind's eye that it's already happened. I am safe. Nothing can harm us. So then you would, obviously, I have this size pot. So this would not work without a lot of folding. So you're going to want to make sure that you have an appropriate size that both matches your pot and also fits your intention. So then you fold it toward yourself. Turn it clockwise if you're trying to bring something to you. If you were to say make a banishing or binding plant, maybe like a cactus or a deadly nightshade, you would maybe think about doing counterclockwise to push something away from you. But I'm trying to draw safety and protection to me. So then I would fold it again towards me and turn it and fold it again towards me, right? You can do it as many times you like. I think 3 is a really good number. With this intention, I would put this in the bottom of my plant. I might put some rocks here on the bottom just to give it a little bit of drainage, since this one doesn't have a hole in the bottom. But that would be my intention. And I might not do this at this step. I would just letting you know. So when I do this spell for like a Sabbath or an Esbet, I usually have already planned and thought of my intention in advance. However, sometimes I'm just literally planting things and, you know, with the intention that, okay, I'm going to plant this sagebrush and I'm going to harvest it for sage to use in bundles that will protect us and cleanse our home. And that's an intention. That's what I'm doing. I'm growing, and it has all the magic of my thought and care and devotion to it in it, so that when I do burn it for myself, or if I made a tea out of this chamomile, or if I carried this strawberry leaf in a lucky pouch, it would have all that intensity of me having made this. So like you can add layer upon layer upon layer to your working. Or if you're just planting the garden with your family, you might just say a little prayer and think on an intention, and that'll be it. It can be as simple as you want. And then you have your optional items that align with your intention. I have some examples here, but also if you have a book of correspondences, that might be really helpful. So like, for example, I have Llewellyn's complete book of correspondences, and let's say I was looking for, let's say, what am I looking for? I want protection. And then these are all the correspondences for protection, and I can think of ways. So gemstones and minerals, I might have, once my plant is planted, have a little gemstone. I do that quite often. This is the one that I normally use. It's just like a clear quartz geode, and it just amplifies whatever I've already done. It's nice and simple. But if you were doing protection, you might have a tourmaline or an onyx, or if you were doing prosperity, you might have a pyrite. So then you have you could do something sacred to your goddess or god. You can have some kind of implementation of an animal or bird. Then it has like specifics about like what are you specifically trying to protect. So like each different type of protection that you might work into that. Same thing with this book here. It just has, you look up an ingredient and you just go with it. So I'm just gonna, oh, sorry little ant. I'm just gonna walk you through what I would do. Okay, so I have everything assembled here. I have my intention that I wrote earlier. Obviously this is a little bit big for this container. I normally like to fold it 3 times, but for this purpose of this example, I'm gonna fold it a 4th time. I would have a couple little rocks here, but this is not gonna be this plant's permanent home. So I've just got a little bit of soil here. I've already got my intention. I've written it. I'm going to put it on the bottom, and at this point you might chant or say magic words, or just think on your intention and put that energy in here. And you have your little plant. Okay. Put some soil in here. So that's covered. Then I've got this here. Kind of broke up the root ball. Place this in there. This is going along with if I did this for protection. Okay, so I got a nice little sage here. It's got my intention in it. The sage is for protection. And then you might add on different things that help align with your intention. So I like to add crystals. You might, for this purpose, put tourmaline or onyx. Some other things that you could add to maybe boost the strength is some coffee grounds sprinkled, good for the plant, and also it gives power to the working. You could, I have my notes here by the way. You could do this ritual either on your outside altar or in a place where you could also have a candle burning for the working, a protection candle on your altar, or even out here you could set it up. You could have a protection oil that you bless this jar with, this container, pot. We already talked about color. You might also have a protective incense like dragon's blood burning while you are doing this and thinking and working on your petition. You could also, like let's say if it was prosperity, you could use some cinnamon on top. That's also good, not too much, but a little bit will help inhibit growth of things that you don't want to grow in there. Other things that you might like is like, hush! If you're gonna whine, go. It's like a rune, or a coin, if it was for prosperity, or maybe a pentacle. A sigil could be on the bottom. It could be somewhere on the side, on the outside, or some kind of symbol. You could have words that were meaningful to you. You could water this plant with moon water that you gathered at a recent full moon, or any other totems that make sense to you. So, and basically, as you tend and nurture and grow this plant, it grows your intention. So, that's it. It's really versatile. You can do it as big or as little as you want. You can make a huge ceremony out of it as part of a Sabbath ritual with your family and friends, or you can just set intentions as you plant your garden. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this. Let me know your feedback in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for doing this with me. Bye.